That'll be $50. Thank you. Wait, hey, this 50 is a fake.
How do you know it's a fake?
What are you talking about, sir? How can I identify a genuine note from a fake note?
Well, a genuine 50 has a watermark with the jaguar and the written words of the 50, also a thread.
Know your money and know a fake one when you see it. Do not rely on any one security feature. Look for the clarity and quality of printing. The printed lines and colors should be sharp and clear. Feel the quality of the paper and the raised print. Hold the note up to the light to see the windowed security thread. It should form one complete line when held up to the light. The watermark and denominational electrotype. The jaguar is the watermark in the $100 and $50 notes. The sleeping giant is the watermark in the $20, $10, $5, and $2 notes. The see-through feature. The parts of the design printed on the back should fit exactly within the unprinted areas of the front to form the complete design. Check the $100 note for the toucan hologram with the periwinkle flower overprint. Tilt it to see the small images of the toucan and the numeral 100. Check the $50 note for the green foil angelfish. Check even closer. Use an ultraviolet light to see the fluorescent features. Use a magnifier to see the microlettering. Tiny letters that read Central Bank of Belize and the value of the note. Stop the circulation of counterfeit Belize currency notes. Pass all counterfeits to the police at once. It is a criminal offense to hold or use a counterfeit. Be safe. Be sure. Know your money.
Movies are dreams. That you never forget.
The lights change how everything looks. It's hard to find our house.
Ours is the dark house with no lights.
In this family, it's the scientists versus the artists.
What kind of movie are we gonna make?
You stop making movies, it'll break your mother's heart.
I don't know what to do anymore.
You do what your heart says you have to. What was your favorite part?
We need your help. We're detecting increased aquatic activity 25,000 feet deep in the trench. It's an ancient ecosystem untouched by man. Whatever is down there is trying to make its way to the surface.
This was a bad idea.
Just a little bit.
Jonas, we've got company.
That's the biggest Meg I've ever seen.
Biggest Meg anyone's ever seen.
That's the apex predator.
Everybody make it to the station! You can make it! Keep going!
3 massive Megs and who knows what else have escaped the breach.
I just hope it goes better than last time.
What happened last time?
You don't want to know.
This ain't the end. I saw you again.
Go! We've never seen this before. They hunted it back.
We can relax. This place, Meg-proof. I mean, Jonas was always afraid of this, but I was also thinking...
Good evening with your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. A new informal trade market seems to be under operation in Belize, and it is causing shortage of one of the country's basic commodities. For the past weeks, we have been receiving reports suggesting a scarcity of plantation white sugar in the local market. We understand a shortage of the commodity is more intense in the west and south of the country, particularly in the Toledo, Stand Creek, and Coyote districts, where residents report having to visit several stores and supermarkets before being able to purchase a pound of the sweetener. So, what is causing the dearth of one of Belize's most acclaimed products? Certainly, it's not a lack of production. In fact, according to the sugar manufacturer, BSI ASR, they have enough sugar to suffice the domestic market until the next crop season. With the company having sufficient stock to match local market demand, its financial director, Sean Chavaria, says a leakage in the supply chain could be causing the scarcity.
For the Belizean public to be aware that from our standpoint, we don't have any shortage of product available for the market. We produce sufficient to take us into January of next year. But we have observed that there's been a significant uptick in purchases, particularly for plantation white sugar. We've seen over 20% increase in demand for plantation white sugar, which we can only deduce is because of the price disparity that exists between the Belizean market and our neighboring markets. We know that, for example, in Mexico, sugar, particularly plantation white equivalent, which is a standard sugar, is selling for 2.5 times the price that it is sold for Belize. And we feel that that is perhaps creating that pressure here in our domestic market for our product. So people are able to buy cheaper here, sell it across the border and make a profit. And we believe that might be the cause for the apparent shortage of sugar on the shelves. If you look at brown sugar in particular, the price of brown sugar has not increased for 22 years. And it's being sold even below the world market price for raw sugar. So that would create a strong demand for a product because it makes it easier or it's more lucrative to make a profit. You can buy cheaper here and sell it at 2 times or 3 times the price across the border.
So where is Belize's sugar going? The company believes the product is making its way into Guatemala, and from there it is infiltrated into the Mexican market, where the value of the product is 3 times higher than in Belize.
Guatemala does share a large border with Mexico, and it could be that that's another area or a transit point that sugar is making its way into the Mexican market because there the prices are even higher than it is in Guatemala. So we believe it could be both countries where the leakages are occurring. So, for example, we comparing to last year, we sold approximately 10,000 tons of plantation white sugar in the domestic market between the period of October 2021 to September 2022. And then when we compare it to the period October 2022 to September 2023, we sold just over 12,000 tons of plantation white sugar. So that's an increase of 2,000 tons or the 20% that I mentioned. Of that, perhaps maybe 15 to 20% is genuine increase in demand in Belize because of the economy recuperating, more demand from manufacturers. But we believe that perhaps maybe 1,500 tons of that is maybe making its way across the border.
To reduce the movements across our porous borders, the company is recommending an increase in vigilance on behalf of our authorities. But to actually put a seal on the informal trade, there has to be a correction in the disparity that exists between the price of sugar sold in Belize and those on the regional and world market, says Chavarria.
For a few months now, that the price of sugar needs to be adjusted. We've done the calculation that has been presented to the government, and if the price were to be adjusted to the level that we have proposed, the average increase on a family of four in Belize would be 36 cents per week. So it won't be a significant impact on the average Belizean family, but it would help to address this issue. The price of brown, the last adjustment took place in 2001, and for plantation white sugar, the last adjustment took place in 2016. And in the case of brown, as we highlighted, it would be a marginal impact on the Belizean family of 36 cents per week. So we believe that there is a very good rationale why there needs to be a price adjustment for sugar. And if you compare the food basket and you look at sugar, even at the proposed price that we have suggested, it will still be well below the price for other items in the food basket, such as rice, flour, loaf of bread, beans. So your basic food items, it will be, I would say, less than half the price of these basic food products.
While the recommended change in sugar prices for the local market is yet to be discussed by Cabinet, internally, BSI-ASR has been making moves to mitigate the situation.
What we have tried to do internally is reach out to customers who have been reporting that they can't get product to find out where their traditional supplier or who supplied them with product and seeing how best we can try to fill the gap. But we also know that there are reports that the sugar makes its way to supermarkets, and from there are people who are picking up to buy wholesale to then perhaps take it across the border. But we don't have that visibility into what happens after sugar leaves our gate. What we are trying to ensure that any potential win that we get of perhaps a buyer coming to source and for export, we try to curtail that from our end. So if you suddenly want double the amount of sugar that you've historically purchased, well, we hold back on that. We only limit you to what you have traditionally sourced.
Sean, are you all working in conjunction with the Ministry of Agriculture and the Sugar Industry Control Board? Because I know that you mentioned that you all are monitoring the wholesalers who are asking for an increase in purchase. Is this information that you all pass on to the Ministry of Agriculture and the Sugar Industry Control Board to make some sort of fact check to see, okay, why is it that you are requesting an increase? And even supermarkets who are wholesalers, do you have that type of information available?
Yes, and in fact, the Ministry of Agriculture and the Sugar Industry Control Board have reached out asking for that information, who we've been selling to, what has been the market trend. And so we provided them a detailed listing of who all we've sold sugar to in the past year, the quantities. We also gave them a 10-year history of our sales of plantation white and brown sugar in Belize to show that the sales for brown sugar have been very steady. And this year, plantation white in particular saw a 20% increase. So that information has been shared to assure the government that from our standpoint, A, we produce the sugar and have been selling it in the marketplace, and B, we're selling to a wide range of distributors, manufacturers, bakeries, supermarkets. So we are making the sugar available. So somewhere along that supply chain is where the leakage is occurring.
While we're trying to get comment from the Minister of Agriculture on the shortage of sugar issue in the local market, we were unable to do so since he is currently attending the Conference of Ministers of Agriculture of the Americas in San Jose, Costa Rica. The event is being held from October 3rd to the 5th, 2023. The Ministers of Agriculture of the Americas will meet with a broad work program that will also call on presidents to discuss solutions to the most urgent challenges facing the sector at times when food security is at the top of the global agenda. Ministers will also debate the continent's participation in the next United Nations Conference on Climate Change, COP28, scheduled for the end of this year in Dubai. The conference is held every 2 years, and the Inter-American Board of Agriculture, JAIA, will sit with the Ministerial Conference, which is the highest governing body of IIC. The matriarch of a family of 7 is tonight recovering from a fall she suffered allegedly while waiting to be seen by medical personnel at the San Narciso Polyclinic in Corozal. Family members of 76-year-old Maria Crawford say on September 25th she was in line waiting to see the doctor at the polyclinic when she collapsed. This is after she waited for hours in the hot sun since the clinic did not open on time. Due to the fall, Crawford sustained 4 broken fingers, and tonight her family is accusing the clinic of neglect. We spoke to Sarah Blanco, who was with her mother-in-law when the incident happened.
Pues ese día 25 de septiembre, que fue el lunes, yo la llevé a la clínica porque ya, pues ella chequea cada mes porque ella sufre depresión. Pues ya le tocaba el lunes y nos fuimos temprano. Pues ahí estamos haciendo cola y ya hubiera dado las 7 y la clínica no había abierto. Pues nosotros toda la gente estaban allá afuera esperando, pero había un tremendo sol. Estaba bien caliente el sol, pues en ese momento pues todos estamos parados del sol y mi suegra pues yo la miré pues y le pregunté que si quería la sombra, porque estaba muy caliente el sol y me dice ella sí. Pues yo agarré y la llevé en un lado donde había sombra y la paré y pues yo me fui a hacer cola y pues de repente cuando mi suegra se cayó en el piso, pues yo corrí y otras personas que estaban allá me ayudaron y la levantamos, la sentamos en el suelo, porque la clínica todavía no había abierto, ya había dado como más de las 7 de la mañana. Y pues ahí ya estaba un doctor, pues ella la auxilió, había otra persona también. Pues ahí estamos allá sentados, todavía creo que tardamos como 5 a 10 minutos hasta que la clínica abrió. Pues inmediatamente abrieron y la metieron. y la atendieron. Y ahí pues la tuvieron en observación y todo, la chequearon y todo. Y el doctor dijo que sí, se había lastimado de su mano, pero el doctor también dijo que también la causa fue tal vez, pues no tal vez fue el sol, donde estamos afuera parados, porque sí tardamos un buen rato allá afuera. Y fue el sol. Y la parte de la clínica dio las 7 y no habían abierto. Y tardamos allá afuera esperando.
¿Y al caer se quebró la mano?
Sí, al caer sí. La chequearon, el doctor dijo que sí, es el golpe que lo causó donde se cayó.
But that was allegedly not the end of Crawford's bad experience. Yesterday, she was transported to the Corozal Community Hospital for medical attention, and the treatment received was inadequate, says Blanco.
Eso fue ayer que mi suegra tenía pues appointment para que le pongan el yeso. Mi suegra y mi cuñada se quitaron acá a las 5 de la mañana para irse al hospital. Ahí esa hora hasta mediodía la atendieron. Hasta mediodía, todo desde la mañana, a las 5 de la mañana, hasta esa hora la atendieron.
¿Usted cree que entonces la clínica tuvo negligencia al no abrir temprano?
Sí, yo creo que sí. Sí, eso es lo que pasó, porque como yo digo, si hubieran abierto desde temprano, todos, no solo nosotros, toda la gente que estaban allá afuera, hubieran entrado temprano y nos hubiéramos sentados todos, bien tranquilos, esperando que nos atiendan. Yo creo que sí fue eso.
The elderly Maria Crawford is recuperating at home in Concepcion. Today, when questioned about the incident, Dr. Melissa Diaz-Musa, Director of the Public Health and Wellness, indicated that Crawford suffers from other underlying health conditions that may have caused her to collapse while waiting for medical assistance at the San Narciso Polyclinic. Musa also diffused the allegation that the elderly woman had to wait hours under the hot sun before the clinic opened for service. We understand the family intends to make a formal complaint of the incident at the Quality Assurance Service at the Corozal Community Hospital. According to information provided by the World Health Organization, about half of the planet's population is at risk of dengue. We did some desk research and found out that dengue affects approximately 129 countries, and Belize is not excluded. In 2020, the Ministry of Health and Wellness saw a dreadful year as the number of dengue cases was significant, even though slightly lower than 2019. Fast forward to 2023, dengue numbers are spiking in northern Belize. Today, the Ministry of Health and Wellness provided some insight into what is known so far locally and internationally.
To put things into context, you may recall in 2019, the region saw the highest incidence of dengue ever recorded. That's the region of the Caribbean and the Americas. And at that time, we saw something like 3.18 million dengue cases. We tend to see a cyclical pattern in the region. Every 3 to 5 years, we experience epidemics of dengue in the region. So we expected that sometime last year to this year, you would see an increase in cases, factoring as well the El Nino effect, whereby you would see increase in rainfall in the region, and also periods of with climate change in terms of intense heat. We expected an increase as the pattern shows, and that record has been shattered as of September of this year, whereby the region now reports 3.51 million. So we have exceeded, as a region, the total number of cases for the 2019 record-breaking year. So
So in 9 months we've broken the previous record.
Yes, that is correct.
So it's unprecedented, the number of the incidence of cases.
Yeah, the incidence of dengue is unprecedented for 2023. Quintana Roo is a large state, and so when you disaggregate the data and you look at it, people might say Quintana Roo and associate it directly with Chetumal, but a lot of those cases are not necessarily coming just from the Otonpe Blanco department. So you have a little bit more north in other regions of that department. So I wouldn't I wouldn't say Chetumal specifically, but in general, the Quintana Roo department in itself is seeing higher incidents for as compared to previous years.
According to Kim Bautista, Chief of Operations at the Vector Control Unit, while the numbers in Belize are increasing, no dengue deaths have been reported for this year.
In Belize, we recorded um, up to the end of September, we have 1,725 cases. If you want to compare that against the 2019 baseline where you had the highest incidence, that year we had 8,359 cases and 10 deaths. So this year we haven't reported any death associated with dengue. If you compare it to 2019, you're looking at 108% increase already versus the total from last year. Now, where are those cases coming from? Corozal, Orangewark, Cayo District accounts for 81% of our cases. So 3 districts with the majority of cases. And now we could zoom in a little bit further in terms of where in those districts. So in Cayo, Benqueviejo, San Ignacio, Santa Elena, Bolitri, some of the periphery areas in Belmopan. Those are where you see majority of the cases. Corozal, you're looking at Corozal Tong, San Narciso, one of the huge villages up there. Shaibe, Ranchito, Libertad, San Victor, which is a border area. In Orangewark, you're looking at Orangewark Tong, Guinea Grass, Agas, Pine Ridge, Trial Farm. So those are the communities that have majority of the cases.
And while the North contributes largely to the dengue numbers, to deal with the mosquito disease, the experts and locals must know that the response has to be multifactored.
Dengue is driven by socioeconomic conditions, and also it has to do a lot with the congestion of urban areas and people moving over the years into rural communities. So the setting that you had in a urban area is now the same in a rural community. So the masses moving for housing and space and everything outside, and now you have those urban community, those rural communities with the same associated risk factors, combined with the fact that people simply are not really they don't have that fear or that concern anymore with respect to dengue. I think partly associated because you're not seeing a state of emergencies like in neighboring countries, high death rates like in neighboring countries. I think that takes away from the fear from the populace, and then once they don't have that, then you don't really have a concern at the community level. So if you're not concerned, then you feel like, well, it's not really my problem, it's somebody else's problem. So you don't really have that cooperation even at the community level to do certain basic public health interventions.
So what is the ministry doing to combat this problem?
Yeah, in terms of we look at the data. Most of the regions do have a surveillance committee that looks at the data, and as I said, there are multiple fronts where we need to look at it in terms of the engagement at the community level with community leaders. We've been doing cleanup campaigns in the north, in a lot of the villages. I think there is still more to be done in terms of the bigger municipalities, in terms of the tongues. That relationship needs to improve to get better cooperation in that regard. In terms of the mosquito control activities, we have upwards of a dozen vehicles, and then we have that are out there doing mosquito control services. Then you have in the islands the relationship that we have with the village council and the town council, so they do spring in collaboration with us. Prior to the opening of schools, we had covered all schools in terms of inspections and fogging, and we continue to monitor schools because we don't want any incidents in that age group.
It is notable that data available exemplifies that El Nino will contribute to high levels of rainfall, and this means more breeding sites for mosquito. Added to that, climate change is also a major contributor to the increase of mosquito reproduction. A 13-year-old from San Pedro is missing tonight, and his family is concerned about his whereabouts. Since he left home and was reported missing, Ryan Rowland Jr., a student of San Mateo area in La Isla Bonita, has not been seen or heard from. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call the nearest police station. Coming up next, a reduction in major crimes for Belize according to statistics from the Belize Police Department. And the BNTU Orange Walk branch has a new president. Stay tuned.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one?
Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not gonna lose her again. Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets. It's my face. You stole my face.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
This can't be happening. I completely broke the universe.
Zod, we've been waiting for you.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
Oh. You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not be a future. What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm Barry. We're Barry. Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are gonna want to see this.
Come on, let's go! We gotta catch up with Scooby-Doo!
In the middle of nowhere, Scooby-Doo found a little courage.
That's me!
It's my friends. Oh! And a lot of adventure.
Like, man, this place is totally freaky. Why is the water dripping upward?
Now,
If you're in a situation,
I've never seen cicadas
it as that big before. More weird and creepy mysterious stuff happens in nowhere than anywhere else in the world.
It's on our flag.
Getting scared, then welcome to the town that isn't there.
Enjoy.
Yes, ma'am. There's nowhere to run. The insects grow to crazy sizes here.
Where creepy is a compliment, bananas is a verb. Bravery, I'm confident, is still a dirty word.
And nowhere to hide.
Achoo! Gesundheit!
Oh, thank you.
If you're falling down a rabbit hole, the only way is so laugh until you cry a bit, and then you get unstuck. Are you nutty as a fruitcake? Are you loony as a tune? And quit your scowl and do some howling at the moon, like me. Woohoo!
We got a safe scoop!
Straight out of nowhere, Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Woohoo! Jackpot! Watch the masters at work!
Needs more mustard. Excuse me, must have been something I ate. Look for it on digital and DVD.
Sign up for Smart's Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Crime statistics from various jurisdictions across the country are being compared by the Belize Police Department in an effort to strengthen law enforcement in areas of weakness. This morning, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams led this year's National ComStat meeting held with commanders from various formations. Together, they looked at the available data on the kinds of crimes being committed and what can be done to address these issues. After looking at the data related to major crimes, including murder, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams is reporting an overall fall in crimes across the country for the first 9 months of 2023. For the first 9 months of the year, Belize has recorded a total of 68 murders, while the same period last year saw a total of 86 murders across the country.
I can say that the current statistics as we have presented this morning is showing that murders are down by 22% and overall major crime is down by 2%. So I am proud to report to the nation that when it comes to the overall criminal outlook for the country, crime is down. Well, if we were to look at the criminal outlook, particularly when it comes to murders from 2012 to present, the 3 least deadliest year we have had was 2013 when we had 99 murders, 2020 when we had 103, and 2022 when we had 113. And when we look at our figures so far for 2023, we are down at this time compared to those 3 years where we had great success. So I can say that the numbers are looking good, but it is not time for us to sing Kumbaya and celebrate. The year still has 3 more months to go, and we must, as I said to my commanders, that they must ensure that they keep up the work that they have been doing, pressing officers to work while keeping them motivated. If we have our officers motivated, certainly we're going to get more from them. I can also say that we, through the ministry and the government, have been pumping a lot of resources into the different parts of the country to ensure that the officers have the tools to work. So that, again, is contributing to the success that we're having, as well as to keep our officers motivated.
Looking at specific crimes, the Belize district continues to record the highest number of murders, while the north saw the 3rd highest number of murders during the period January to September.
Belize district Belize City being the commercial hub of the country, do have the most activity. When it comes to murders, the western region would be second, and then the northern region would be third, and the southern region would have the least murder activity. But when it comes to overall major crime, we'd see that the Belize district is leading, followed closely by the west, and then the south. What is plaguing the south is the issue of burglaries. There's a lot of burglaries coming out of the Independence area, particularly Independence and Bay Vista. From what I'm told by the officers, there's one particular individual who is committing these burglaries, but every time he's arrested and charged, he goes before the court, he's granted bail. If he pleads guilty, he's given a fine, and as he comes out, he goes and burglarizes again. So we need to find a way to get that person to prison out of circulation. When it comes to burglaries, the north is down, but when it comes to murders, the northern region is number 3.
Campo Williams also highlighted the major fall in crime which was reported this year during the September celebrations when compared to 2022.
Put together our plan to police the September celebrations, not just the events that were part of the September celebrations, but we put an overall plan to police September going into October, and that plan did work. Thanks to the commanders in the different parts of the country, as well as the officers who work with them daily to ensure that our operational plans are achieved. Without their support and the work that they did, we would not have achieved what we did. So kudos to those officers.
Daughter of singer Carlos Guerra, Peruvian Brosivar is a renowned artist that began singing Mexican traditional music at a very young age, mostly influenced by her father. After participating in a band called Los Fenders, she moved to Lima and joined Los Biotrips in 1984. War decided to go on her own soon after. Known as La Reina de la Tecnocumbia, Brosivar became a catchy name in the entertainment world. Today she is in Belize for a special event. We caught up with her at the Ranchito airstrip in Corozal just before she boarded her 4:30 p.m. flight en route to San Pedro La Isla Bonita, where she will be performing on stage for a Kids with Cancer benefit concert.
Estoy aquí dirigiéndome a San Pedro porque pues vamos a estar en un evento muy bueno, benéfico para las personas con cáncer, los niños con cáncer allá en San Pedro, en esta institución que pues vela por estas personas que están pasando esos momentos tan difíciles y que pues a Dios gracias hay personas como Miss Patti Arceo y toda la comunidad de personas que se preocupan y que pues están siempre velando por el bienestar de ellos, ¿no?
La logística de este evento, háblanos sobre los detalles.
Sí, bueno, yo estoy súper agradecida porque me están haciendo parte de este gran evento para este beneficio, así es que yo encantadísima de la vida, además que pues yo le debo mucho a esta linda gente de aquí de Belice, de San Pedro, y especialmente en San Pedro estoy recordando mucho a Violetita, nuestra niña, nuestra angelita hermosa, mi capullo de rosa que hoy está en el cielo y que fue por ella justamente que yo conocí San Pedro. Así es que bueno, con ese angelito hermoso siempre conmigo y pues imagínate volver, después de tanto tiempo regresar, para mí es volver a vivir esos momentos tan bonitos, recordarlos y además por el motivo que estoy aquí, pues entonces por ese motivo y siempre yo voy a estar ahí con Miss Patti Arceo, que pues es una persona, un gran ser humano y que realmente ella y toda su familia, todas sus amistades que realmente hacen cosas muy buenas en nuestro país. Yo le digo, no es un ángel aquí en la tierra, personas como ella son ángeles en la tierra y bueno, pues ahí estoy yo para apoyar con un granito de arena para lo que me quieran.
War says the entertainment will be worth every dollar and more so since she will be singing her new singles.
Pues las canciones que les encantan, las canciones que ellos hicieron conocida aquí, que les gustó mucho, pues yo se las voy a volver a cantar con mucho cariño y también por supuesto otras canciones nuevas para que las conozcan y que también ya me han dicho que también ya entraron, ya están pegando y entonces pues también cantarle todas esas canciones y esta vez con pues toda mi agrupación en el escenario y nada, súper feliz por la oportunidad de poder apoyar a esta gran causa, ¿no?
Su mensaje a los fans que, bueno, van a estar no solamente disfrutando de entretenimiento de Rosie Ware, pero también van a estar aportando a una noble causa.
Pues agradecerles a todos mis fans porque también ellos están ahí, ponen la mano al corazoncito y yo les agradezco a cada uno de ellos por tenerme ahí en un lugar de sus corazoncitos y pues que ellos también están prestos a apoyar estas grandes causas y por eso es mi agradecimiento, ¿no? Mi agradecimiento y como repito, siempre que quieran de mí, mi presencia y mi canto y todo lo demás para estas buenas causas, pues ahí voy a estar con todo mi corazón. Campos, Sacachispas, ahí los esperamos a todos. Y yo creo que todos van a estar súper felices porque además de divertirse y todo, pues están apoyando a una gran causa. Así es que yo les agradezco con todo mi corazón y Diosito es grande porque la verdad que estoy súper feliz de poder estar nuevamente con todos ustedes. Acá no saben el gran cariño que yo les tengo y siempre voy a estar presente en cualquier cosa que ustedes requieran de mí porque en agradecimiento a tanto cariño que tengo aquí cada vez que vengo a Belice y además pues la oportunidad de tener una calle con mi nombre aquí es para mí lo más grandioso que Dios me puede haber brindado con todos ustedes, con esta linda gente de aquí de Belice y de San Pedro.
The event is being organized by Nuestra Señora de Fatima Foundation, WAR will be performing on stage alongside Orange Walk's very own Super Foya Band. Mental health is a universal human right. It's a theme for mental health awareness during this month. Annually, October 10th is recognized as World Mental Health Day. So the Northern Regional Hospital, through its mental health department led by nurse practitioner Becky Tillett, organized a very special program to commemorate the event this morning here in Orange Walk Town. With the organization of the first high school mini talent show and mental health awareness day ceremony at the Banquitas House of Culture, 4 local high schools were able to showcase their talent through songs, poetry, and even motivational dialogues.
A mental note to a high school student. No man is an island. I'm sure you've heard that before, right? A simple sentence, a simple statement that could get you thinking all night. It should be a simple understanding, a meaning set in stone. No human was made to stand alone. Mental health is a serious concern, a concern most people seem to brush aside. Some start to hide it for the sake of their pride. But an issue as great as this,
tú, hombre luchador, que con el amanecer empiezas tu jornada, con tanto ardor, entre los cañales la tierra y el fruto de tu labor. Incansable cortas la caña con ese machete filoso, pues no eres un vencedor. Tú, mi cañero, mi humilde héroe luchador. Tú, gran productor, que desde las primeras lluvias de mayo siembras la caña. Oh, mi sembrador.
The event, according to Regional Health Manager for the North, Felix Rayburn, sought to include the youth of our community in the important topic of mental health.
Currently, we don't have an exact number of the prevalence of mental health among our adolescent population, but we do know that our adolescent population is severely affected in respect to mental health condition, and we need to bring awareness so that we can get a better picture of the situation with respect to mental health. Mental health department decided that we need to get some way to get the student engaged, and a mini talent show is one way to get student engaged. At the same time, we bring awareness about the mental health in our community. We do have the team which is trying to advocate one thing, that mental health is a human right, and in Belize we do have those rights, and also we emphasize a lot on discrimination, which is one of the challenges that affect access to mental health. So we emphasize a lot and try to make comparison to the mental health condition and other physical medical conditions.
Special guest speaker Yvette Hernandez, who is a psychotherapist, shared the importance of breaking the barriers and establish stigmas surrounding mental health and its challenges.
It was an honor for me today to be invited to talk to the adolescents because I was able to clarify, for example, many misconceptions and stigma that they have concerning mental health and the treatment, right? And I think they receive it well, and that was good. For example, the misconception that mental illness is something meaning you're crazy, right? Or if you look for if you look for help, then that means that is wrong. Then it means you're weak. And so it was good. It was good. Something good that they did here today, and I'm glad that we're bringing awareness, because the false belief um, that we shouldn't look for help and that it's a sign of weakness is doing a lot of damage. It's causing a lot of people to suffer in silence, and it's causing a lot of suicide, unfortunately. But I think one of the most important one I'd like to share with everybody is to know that it's okay to show emotions. It's okay to cry. It's okay for men to speak about what they're feeling. It's okay for men to cry, to seek help, and to talk about it, not to keep it inside, because I think you notice when we keep it inside, what we end up doing is using unhealthy coping mechanisms, for example, drinking and hurting other people and using anger. And so that by talking and letting people know that it's okay to not be okay and it's okay to find help, that would help a lot.
Other guest speakers in today's event included District Education Officer for the North, Carla Alvarez, and Orange Walk Mayor Ladrick Shepherd. The Belize National Teachers Union has been in existence for over 5 decades and is one of the largest unions currently in our country. The union was formed with the objective of looking out for the rights and benefits of our local teachers. Every 2 years, the different district branches of the union hold an election to select their executive members. This year happens to be an election year, and on Tuesday, members of BNTU Orange Walk gathered at Gala Lounge where a new executive board was voted for. After holding the post as BNTU Orange Walk president for the past 6 years, former President Keith Augustin was replaced by the new president, Otilio Munoz. Having served the union for many years in various capacities, including as a former BNTU Orange Walk branch president, Munoz says he is ready to once more take up the challenge and represent the interests of all teachers in the Orange Walk district.
I have been elected before. I have served the union BNTU for Orange Walk branch for the president for quite some years, like 10 years, I would say. Then I rested a little while, but it seems that the membership wants me again. So they nominated me, and I accepted nomination, and I was surprised to see the support that I have from them, from the membership. I think that it was the right time for me to come back again. You know that we are having through a lot of things happening in our union, and I believe that the love for the union that I have brought me back. And I'm willing to work with my new executive that were elected yesterday, and I want to thank all of them who accepted the nomination, because serving the union is a free service, and it requires a lot of sacrifice. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your family, and sometimes so you have to go the extra mile, doing meetings, conduct things like seminars and things like that, workshops. So I want to applaud them, right, for accepting, because the union is for everybody, and we need to work together to achieve good things for the teachers who we represent, and for the whole country as a whole.
While the new executive is working on settling into its new position, Munoz says they have hit the ground running and are looking into concerns raised by teachers, which include issues of increment and even the new competency-based curriculum.
We have a lot of things that is affecting the teaching profession, as to say, and there are many discontents on the part of the teachers, and of course we do have a lot of issues, as I said. Many of them is, for example, we have right now, as we speak, we have the implementation of the new curriculum. I believe that is one of their contention. One of the things also that has always come out is the missing Social Security contributions of our teachers for so many years. Some of them are missing. We have, for example, the time required, the extra time that this ministry is requiring. So we have a lot of things, and I think that one of the main thing is that we need to dialogue. We need to talk, because decisions cannot be made without consulting the people on the ground, which are the teachers. Because at the end of the day, it's the teachers who actually do the things that the ministry wants and the change that they're bringing. Change takes its time. Change is good, but when you rush change, then we are talking about something serious, right? Every change take its time. And I think that is one of the things that we need to look at. And I am sure that my executive, I have a strong executive, an executive that is committed for the betterment of our union, for our branch, and for the whole national teachers union, at the national level. And then there is also we have right now the issue of the increments that should have been given to teachers effective September. There has been this back and forth, I guess, because none of the teachers got it. So we are still in dialogue with the ministry, which are the Ministry of Finance, the Teaching Service Commission, and the Ministry of Education. And I believe that by this end of month, next month, October, they will be trying to, fix up what went wrong.
As the new president, Munoz says he is looking forward to increasing teacher participation in matters of the union, including scheduled meetings.
I need to really call our members to participate. Orange Walk have been a branch that has always been alive. We are the ones who have always led the union. Whatever Orange Walk say, everybody is spending on what we are saying, what we're going to be doing. And it is sad because I see a lot of teachers not going to the meetings. I really call on them. This half day is given for us to attend our meetings. It's a privilege to have that half day granted by the Ministry of Education in agreement with the BNTU. And I want to call them to attend their meetings, get vocal. Whatever problem they are going through, they have a school rep in their school. Ensure that they communicate with them, and then they are the ones who I liaise with whenever there is a situation in a specific school. I want to invite them to come to our meetings. If you are not a teacher, if you're a teacher who don't belong to the union, join the union, right? The more we are, the more powerful we are, right? And I know that the teachers believe in my leadership, believe in the leadership of this executive, and good things will come out from Orange Walk branch, believe you me.
The remainder of the executive is now formed by Nelson Amaya as the new vice president, Sylvia Marin as secretary, Alexandra Villanueva as assistant secretary, Marcia Carlos is the new treasurer, while Lucia Novello and Guadalupe Maya take up the role of auditors, and trustees include Enya Lopez, Eber Pat, and Ruby Varela. Today, the government of Belize, represented by the Minister of Defense, Florence Marin Jr., and Minister of State, Oscar Mira, met with members of the Belize Territorial Volunteers, BTV, to discuss concerns following repeated aggression by Guatemalan armed forces in the Sarstoon. The BTV was formed 20 years ago when concerned citizens saw the need for Belizean presence at the Sarstoon and for the protection and conservation of marine resources that illegal Guatemalan fishers continuously overharvest with the use of gill nets. During the historic meeting today, the government expressed concerns about the safety of the BTV during their missions to the Sarstoon. The BTV further maintained that all their missions are peaceful and are not done to antagonize the Guatemalan armed forces. Both parties committed to continuous support for improving the living conditions at the Sarstoon base and follow-up meetings for continuous improvement at Belize's borders. The ministers were receptive to volunteer support which has been offered by the BTV, who highlighted the benefits of extra patrols being done in the area. The BTV confirmed that illegal fishing within Belize's maritime area has reduced due to the presence of the Belize Defense Force members, and expressed gratitude to the government of Belize for valuing and prioritizing the nation's territorial integrity. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, October 5th here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3 Belize News or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.